what's up with these drinks we got? I know one of them, Liquid Death, I brought.
Yeah, I brought one too. Mine's better. It's cocaine.
Cocaine. So tell me about this cocaine.
It's just an energy drink that was pulled from stores because it's called cocaine.
And that's the only reason, just because it's called cocaine.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. You can still get it online.
There's no cocaine in it.
No cocaine.
That makes it absolutely no fun whatsoever.
Who brought the Coke? But yeah, that was my first time trying Liquid Death, and it's
all this is a hyped up can.
Yeah, it's just water.
It's water.
It's as water can be.
But these people here are geniuses when it comes to marketing.
Yeah.
I mean, putting water in a can that resembles beer, calling it Liquid Death because it's supposed to, destroy your thirst,
murder your
thirst, and it's supposed to kill the plastic bottle company is why they're trying to do it, because aluminum is way more recyclable than plastic.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
And that's the only thing about it. And the crazy part is they're worth $1.4 billion now, putting water in a can.
You know what's funny is you think like the guy who invented bottled water, what a genius.
Exactly. Canned water.
Put it in a Miller High Life can.
That's exactly what it looks like. Dude, what are you drinking? I'm drinking beer. You're drinking water. And that's all it is. I just walked past this thing probably a million times in the store. I've always heard about it. People have always talked about it. Never really tried it, so I just said, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm glad I tried it, just to say that I have. But yeah, there's nothing special about it.
I mean, it's water.
Mm-hmm. This cocaine, on the other hand, it's also not very. It's just a normal energy drink, but I mean, it's got a cool name.
I mean, this tastes like any other energy drink out there, but you got to admit that the name is great.
I was looking up drinks, just interesting different drinks to bring on as our drink of the day, and there's one called Pussy.
No way.
So I'm gonna bring that one in next.
Pussy.
We can try that, see what that tastes like.
There's a few overseas I'd like to get my hands on to see if I can get them over here that are pretty potent. I'm not going to tell you the names.
Okay.
I'm going to see if I can get them sent over.
You should try, yeah. I'm down to try whatever.
I got a couple buddies that are stationed over in Ramstein, Germany Air Force Base. See if I can get them to send some over.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll try it. We saw that. We got to get that dough ball stuff. The dough ball whiskey.
Dough ball whiskey. That caught me off guard.
Yeah, we saw that at a restaurant the other day, and it's like, what was the one was cookie dough flavored whiskey? The other one was
birthday cake.
Birthday cake flavored. We tried which one did we try? The cookie dough?
Cookie dough.
It was pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm like a single malt whiskey guy, and I saw it, and I'm like, what is this, garbage?
Yeah.
Because, you see so many, different flavored vodkas.
Yeah, birthday cake.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know, let's try it. But I can tell you what, I tried the cookie dough. I liked it.
We're going to have to make some kind of mixed drink recipe with that.
I saw one online. I was looking it up. It was that cookie dough and A&W cream soda. I have no idea
that would be great.
What that would taste like, but I'm curious now.
Yeah, we got to get it. I looked them up online, and it says you can try to find a retailer near you. I couldn't find any. It says not available anywhere.
I'll find it.
So yeah, you'll have to get it.
We'll find it. I do have one topic I want to talk about. This one actually is pissing me off. This one is
perfect.
Yeah.
Let's get angry.
And this one actually happened a while ago, but this girl in Ohio finally got convicted and sentenced to life in prison for what she did. And I don't know if you're aware of this or not, or maybe you haven't heard of it.
Is it with the baby? Where
she left the baby in the pack and play for 10 days and went on vacation?
Yeah. Allie told me about it, and I had no words. I had nothing to say. It's so frustrating. I can't comprehend the mind of somebody who could do that.
Yeah.
And for her to say, she said in court, I know that God and my daughter forgiven me.
No, they haven't.
Fuck you.
You're going to burn in hell.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do.
That's one of the worst things you could do, especially if you hear the description about how the baby was found. It's like,
oh my God. When I read it, I got emotional.
It doesn't get much more evil than that.
I mean, her name was Candelario. And she decided that she was going to put her baby in a pack and play with 2 bottles.
Yeah.
And left for 10 days to go to Puerto Rico.
And she was posting pictures.
And posting pictures of herself having a good time on the beach. And not only did her fun didn't stop there. Because after her Puerto Rico trip, she decided to get on a plane and go to Detroit.
Oh, I didn't know
shack up with another guy, because there was 2 of them.
Wow.
And then this woman has the audacity to come home, find her child dead in the pack and play, change the baby to make it look like she wasn't left there,
Uh-huh.
and called 911 screaming, "Oh, my child's dying. Please someone come."
Oh my God.
You
Yeah.
have got to be kidding me.
I didn't read all that. I just knew like the basics of the story of what happened, but yeah, that's
I mean, it was absolutely disgusting. I mean, when they found the child was, the way they describe it, the baby's eyes were sunken into her head. She was completely dehydrated. She starved to death. The baby was eating its own feces to stay alive. I mean, this poor child is trying to literally grasp at life and trying to stay alive. And
at like what, a year and a half old?
16 months.
Yeah.
16 months old. Yeah. And then this woman is just out partying, having a good time. And now her family, now she wants to play it's not my fault. I have mental issues.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now her family's like, oh, she's been struggling with mental issues, and she can't make sound judgments.
See, there are certain things that I think we need to bring back, like public stonings, public executions.
How about eye for an eye?
Yeah, do that to her.
Because
film it.
Yeah, exactly. How about, you know what? Since you put your baby in a pack and play and left her in a tiny confinement to die, why don't we put you in a cell where you'll never be allowed out, and we give you 2 bottles of water and see how long you last.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about that one other than like public execution, you know.
I mean, Charity told me about it, and that's how it got my attention. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you making this up? And she's like, no. And I started reading it. And the more I read it, the more I was getting irritated just reading the article. Because, you know, I'm a father of 4 children. I couldn't even imagine that, you know, and I have 2 grandchildren. I got 1 on the way. I could never, ever, ever comprehend leaving my child and just taking off for 10, 15 days and coming back as if nothing happened.
Yeah, it's every time something like that happens and I hear about it, like not only is it, you know, infuriating and sad, but then it does make you realize what you have and not take it for granted. You know, you hugged your kid a little extra hard that night, you know?
Yeah.
I know I did.
And the worst part is everybody knows that the bond between a mother and her baby is like the purest form ever.
Yeah.
It's more than a father's.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a sacred bond. And just to like not be there, that's like, I don't even know. That's like the ultimate betrayal.
And it's also like, how could you be off, you know, hundreds of miles away, having fun, sipping martinis on the beach, taking pictures, knowing that your kid is starving to death at home? Like, I don't know.
Oh, and she said in court that, you know, it was on her mind.
Yeah. Sure seemed like it.
Oh, yeah, it was on her mind. So when you were taking those pictures on the beach and you were smiling, it didn't look like you were on your mind. And she said the whole time that she was gone, she was in distress because she left her baby. And I'm bullshit.
Yeah, you would have went back, you know.
Bullshit. How about just pick up the goddamn phone and call somebody?
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I'm not in my right mind. I left my baby at home. Can somebody go get her?
Yeah, go check on her. Do something.
Yeah.
All right, let's get off of this topic before
my blood starts boiling just talking about it.
Really.
You know? That's why I said it's this topic's going to piss me off, and I can't. Change it up. All
right. Well, I got P. Diddy's mansion was raided.
Oh yes, I heard about it.
Yeah, I've been following. There's been a lot of rumors about P. Diddy for a very long time. So it's like to finally see something come of it is good. But
I mean, I've heard everything tied from sex trafficking to knocking off Tupac.
Quit slapping.
I gotta stop slapping that. Slapping the bass, man. I'm slapping the bass.
I'm slapping the bass. All right. So yeah, his mansion was raided. Yeah, there rumors for a long time about like him being gay was like the first rumor, which like in the whole rap industry, like rumors like that are usually they're for one they're like fighting words, and two those allegations are taken pretty seriously, and so that was like the rumor at first, but then the rumors got onto like more coercion, underage stuff, sex trafficking. He like adopted a girl he obviously, only adopted her so he could have her, legal guardianship over her so he could abuse her.
Correct.
But yeah, there's the amount of rumors about it. There's also like leaked pictures and audio of some of the wildest shit.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Pictures of there's alleged audio of like him and another rapper getting it on, and it's I don't know if it's real or not. I choose to believe that it's real because it's funny to listen to.
Isn't he tied in with like Justin Bieber?
So I don't know the direct like correlation between Justin Bieber and him. I know like Usher kind of runs in the same circles, and Usher was close with Bieber. But I thought that Bieber like went Christian, and I thought he was a victim of that.
That's what I thought.
I thought he was a victim, and I thought he like found God and turned his life around. But it seems like they're interested in him too as a part of like their investigation. So I didn't
hear that part.
Yeah, they're that's what, at least that's what Ali told me, that like they're looking into him, and also Jay-Z, which I would buy that Jay-Z is
absolutely 100%
on the same level.
Yeah, I've heard that for years, that he was tied in with Tupac's death. And
P. Diddy?
Yeah, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
And then, you just keep hearing about it and people just flat out saying, yeah, he did.
Yeah,
it didn't seem like anything was happening about it.
Yeah, it's like an open secret. I don't know if he's going to get if there's going to be any consequences for that, because there hasn't been much, nobody's really done anything about it. It seemed like nobody really looked into it from the beginning, but.
I'm just curious, why now? Like, why now?
So he had an ex-girlfriend come out and say like allegations of abuse, rape, and
but it's not the first girl that's ever claimed that. It's not the first time I've ever heard it.
So yeah, it wasn't just that. It wasn't the first girl either. But so he settled that one quickly, paid her off, whatever they settled out of court, as soon as the charges were filed or the lawsuit was filed. And then another one of his employees, who was a man, came out with another lawsuit, and the lawsuit was released like publicly, so you could read the whole thing online, and there were like some pictures and some evidence. So I think people really latched onto that. And it's also like, it seems like everybody gets so excited to take somebody down, especially when they've been, that's like the whole,
I think that's the whole thing. Like, I'm going to tear your castle down. I'm going to tear everything you made down.
Well, I know I got excited when I'm like, is P. Diddy going down?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of P. Diddy. So, I always thought he was kind of an a-hole, but the way he came to fame, it was just kind of iffy. He just shot right through the ranks really fast.
Yeah, and then I mean, it's the sexual blackmail thing. It seems to be the biggest component of it, which is like the same thing that Jeffrey Epstein did. It's like the same kind of setup where it's like, we'll invite you to a party where there's a bunch of young girls. Nobody knows anybody's name or how old they are, but there's cameras in every room. We get everybody drugged up. We get everything on camera, and then we own you. And, that seems to be the cycle of how it works. And hopefully they found some of that evidence whenever they raided his mansion.
Oh, yeah. They did. The last time I heard, everybody tried to say he skipped out of the country.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not. He was seen pacing at the airport, I guess, in Miami after he had two different locations that were raided on the same day. And, he was seen at the airport, and allegedly he fled to the Caribbean. That it was like an already scheduled flight, but some people think that he wasn't on it, and I don't know if that's true or not. He might just be hiding out. He might be out of the country. He might not.
I thought somebody said they saw him in Miami.
Yeah, they did. So he was seen shortly after, and he looked distressed, and he was pacing. There's your dog again.
Yeah,
barking at the TV.
I can't control him. He's got a mind of his own. Every time he sees a dog or a horse, he barks on the TV.
So yeah, he was seen in Miami, but he wasn't seen after that. I don't know if he got on a flight and left. He has a private jet. So like, I don't know for sure where he's at, what he's doing, but he's gonna surface sooner or later. And I can't wait to see. I hope.
Well, I didn't think that they were fully doing anything. They're still only an investigation. There's not like they're pursuing him and trying to get him.
So he's embroiled in that lawsuit. I don't know if they've filed any formal charges against him, but the fact that they're raiding his homes is a good thing. I mean, that shows that they're doing something.
They're looking for some piece of evidence they think is in that house.
And I would imagine that they'll find something. That's just what I think.
Yeah.
Cat Williams right again.
Cat Williams is right again. He did call him out on Shannon Sharp's podcast.
So every day that passes, he just gets more and more.
He's more and more right. I told you, that man is airing everybody's dirty laundry.
He don't miss.
The NCAA facing lawsuits over transgender policies, which I am 100% for these women who are filing these lawsuits.
Oh, it's the women. Okay.
Yeah. So Riley Gaines is one of them. She's a pretty famous NCAA athlete. She is filing with, I think there's like 12, 14, 15 other girls that are doing this. And it's just not on the unfairness of transgenders competing against females. there are also other issues going on in that world which is mind blowing to me, and why the NCAA even lets it happen is that the females or space is being invaded in their locker rooms because they are authorizing naked men who possess full male genitalia to disrobe in front of non-consenting college women, and they're creating situations which unwilling female college athletes are reluctant to expose their naked bodies to male athletes in their locker rooms.
Yeah, why would they want that?
So again, this is the issue I have with the transgenders doing this. I mean, you say you're a female, but you're not a female if you possess a genitalia. If you're walking in a female's room
Mm-hmm.
with females
Mm-hmm.
and you're disrobing and you're just letting your junk hang out and you're offending these women, to me that creates an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
And just proves my point that you are not a female. Now, if you want to believe you're a female, go for it. If you want to dress up in a cat outfit and shit in litter boxes, go for it.
I think it's more than like, because I don't really care what some adult wants to do with their body. I don't give a shit. But I do care that, like, if these women are uncomfortable, or if they have a space, like, there's a reason why they have their own league. I can't just walk in there and take over their soccer game, you know what I mean? And just like letting anybody in who identifies as that is not fair. And it's also not it's not a level playing field, because like no matter what you do as a man, your bone density is different.
Correct.
Your center of gravity is different.
Correct.
Your muscle mass is different. And it's just like no amount of hormones is going to change that. And it's not even like, it's not an ideological thing. It's not a political thing. It's just like, it's just not fair.
It's not.
And
if it was fair, don't you think men and female would be playing sports together all the time?
Mm-hmm.
It's not. There's a reason why there's a male league and a female league.
Right.
There is just physical differences between a man and a woman.
Especially at the level of top athletes, like there's a gap.
Exactly.
For sure. And it's just a reality. It's not like, it's not insensitive to say that when it's just the truth. And why would you want to corrupt that space? You know, I don't really understand it.
Yeah. Like now, if you want to say transgenders play against transgenders dress in transgenders' rooms, okay, now I'm on for that.
At least make some accommodations, yeah.
But you can't say just because, you feel like a woman, then therefore you identify as a woman and you're not a woman, and you're walking into a female's dressing room with women who are actually women, and you're just going to let your junk hang out because doesn't matter to you, but you're offending all these women.
I'm also it's weird to see the split in like the LGBT community right now, because there is kind of like they're kind of all put in the same category when I don't think they consider themselves to all be in the same category anyway. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if like I'm sure there are gay people who don't fall into that same, who or I'm sure there's even transgender people who don't agree with that. It's weird to see the fracture. Like I'm sure there are transgender people that say like, I believe I'm a woman, but I don't think I should be competing. You know what I mean? I'm sure not everybody's on the same boat. And like the media will speak for it as if like all these people think the same when they don't, you know?
Let me get something straight. I'm not against transgenders. I'm not against gays. You could be whoever you want to be. I am against transgenders playing against females when you're not the same. So it's an unfair advantage. So you can't be a transgender walking into a female sport, dominating, throwing your hands up like you did something special when you're already at an advantage because you are a male. You have male DNA, not female DNA. You're built different. Your muscle structure is stronger. Like you said, your center of gravity is different. You're usually taller and bigger than most of the women that you're going to compete against.
Oh, I know a tall woman.
I know a very tall woman.
People will say that as an argument, like, "Oh, my friend is actually 6'4", and it's like, yeah, most men are taller than most women. That doesn't mean every man is taller than every woman.
So yeah, it's just an unfair advantage. And then again, you're letting them dress in female locker rooms when you're not a female yourself. Just because you identify as a woman doesn't make you a woman. Mm-hmm. That's my whole argument. I don't care what you do. I've always said that. Be transgender, be gay, be a kitty cat. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Don't try to change the rules and make it sound like you're doing something great.
Yeah, it's like I mean, I don't go to Japan and demand that they start speaking English. I'm not going to go, you know what I mean? I'm not going into a woman's locker room and demand that they accept me as another one. You know, it's just
insane. And it's in the crazy part is Caitlyn Jenner, who used to be Bruce Jenner, who competed in the Olympics as a man, 100% agrees with this. That transgenders should not compete against female athletes.
Yeah.
This is a person who is a transgender saying it is an unfair advantage to compete in women's sports.
Right. It does throw a wrench into the whole perception that like this is a trans issue when it's like not everybody thinks that way. And Caitlyn Jenner does seem to fall on the conservative side of a lot of issues, but like that just goes to show that like you can't treat it like they all think the same. Like I hate whenever they try to group people together like that when it's like, oh well, the transgender community feels this way, and it's like no, they don't all think the same.
They don't all think the same. That's just my take on that.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I would like to argue with you, but no, I agree with you on.
Yeah. It's really hard for me. I don't know how anybody can argue with that fact. I mean, if you're physically hurting your opponents, there's something wrong.
Yeah, well, there was several incidents in the UFC in like combat sports where they were letting somebody who identified as a woman in who wasn't born a woman, and they weren't informing the other women. So like they couldn't even consent, and like because if a girl wants to do that, she wants to fight a transgender woman, then like go for it. But they weren't even told. So it's like you're getting in the ring with somebody that you don't understand is like.
And I actually know that story, and a lot of them actually withdrew from the tournament and competition because they didn't want to face a transgender because of that issue.
Yeah.
I mean, that transgender was the punching power, the kicking power, the speed was just too much for them to even compete against. So again, that's an unfair advantage.
And it's also another case of somebody like the same thing happened in bodybuilding where like it's a case of somebody who is mediocre, not getting that much attention, kind of a failing career in the field, and then switches up, goes into a different league, and now they're like at the top. And it's like...
Speaking of that, how about Leah Thompson?
The swimmer.
The swimmer.
Yeah.
Same thing. When she competed as a man, her stats weren't that great. I mean, I think it was the most she ever got was like 65th ranked overall in the majority of swimming events. He was like 565th. And then he transgender over into female sports, and now he's finishing first, second, and third, dominating the swimming sport, wins the NCAA title, national championship, which they stripped from him.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, they stripped from him. And then he threw a hissy fit about it, saying, that they're attacking him and that he needs to retire. Or sorry, I keep saying she needs to retire because she's feeling that she's being attacked or unfairly treated. Don't you think that you unfairly treated all the competitors you went against?
Yeah, and it's those women who have trained their whole lives for that, and then they just get edged out by somebody who's, shouldn't be there.
So, yeah, I have no sympathy on that one.
Have you been following, or do you follow like at all? Are you familiar with Julian Assange?
A little.
So his story basically, he was an Australian hacker. He got famous when he was young for that, and then in the early 2000s was like the founder of WikiLeaks, where anybody could, if you're part of the government or part of a corporation that you want to like release information that your government or your business is doing something illegal or that it's not supposed to, you can leak it to WikiLeaks and it won't be known. You can do it anonymously if you choose. And it got really popular in like 2010 whenever a bunch of videos were released of like what was going on in Iraq and like civilians getting killed and the U.S. military doing war crimes basically. So governments around the world have had their eye on him for a long time, and he got arrested in 2016. I think Sweden put out some civil lawsuit against him and like wanted a warrant for his arrest. So he hid in the Ecuadorian embassy for like 7 years and then got out. The British government detained him because he got kicked out of the embassy, and he's been in jail ever since. And they're finally trying to get him out. The U.S. wants him extradited from the U.K. And the U.K. said like, it seems like they don't want to do it, but everybody listens to what the U.S. says. So they're like, if you say you're not going to kill him, then we'll release him to you. Yeah. And they won't say that.
Yeah, they're not going to say that. They're like, Why don't we just say that with our fingers crossed?
Yeah. I mean, the guy's literally just a journalist. I mean, he's published a lot of secrets and stuff, but
yeah, but do you think he's not the first journalist or not the first person that government has silenced because of what they know?
His case is so public though, and he has so much support. And what he's in trouble for doing was, years and years ago, it would look so good on any administration that would pardon him or release him, but they refuse to do it because he's, he doesn't like the government and he's releasing their secrets. And it's just that it's crazy to see that he's still locked up. He's lost his mind. He's been in solitary confinement.
There's a reason why.
Because he's telling the truth. Yeah.
So you put that person away. You lock away the key. Mm-hmm. Nobody can hear what he has to say anymore. And then over a period of time, he'll disappear.
Yeah, and I think people are doing a pretty good job of not letting that happen. He's one of the more high-profile cases, but also it's a good example for anybody else who wants to come out against the government. See what happened to this guy? He's insane and in solitary now, and
Yeah, there's lots and lots of people who tried to come out, throw dirt on the government, and then mysteriously have disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Or they're found
found dead.
Yeah, with two gunshots to the back of the head.
Yeah, or a mysterious car accident. Or a plane crash.
Plane crash. It always happens.
Yeah.
So I want to see Dune 2.
So do I.
In IMAX.
Oh, that would be good.
Because I feel like that's the way to see it.
If you want to do that, you need to see the first one in IMAX.
I saw the first one at home. So
yeah, so did I.
I want to see it in IMAX, and I never get excited about the movies just because there's so many that come out that are crap. It's rare that I get one that I'm excited for. And I told Hallie, can you take me to this movie? Why don't you take me out for once? And let's go to the IMAX. And she was like, I'm 9 months pregnant. I'm not going to the IMAX.
Like, no, it's not happening.
Yeah, with the vibrating seats and the loud explosions and stuff. That's how we get this.
That's how you get that baby out.
We go to the IMAX.
Scare that baby out. I'm a big fan of Dune. Yeah. Even when the original Dune came out in '84,
the David Lynch one,
I loved it. I thought it was great.
It's a wild, wacky,
especially for that time when it came out. And there's a whole series of Dunes too.
Have you ever heard David Lynch talk about his experience on that film? Because that was his only big blockbuster movie. Before that, he did Eraserhead and the Elephant Man one, and then he took on this one, and it was this huge, ambitious, multi-million-dollar movie. And he goes, it was a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. The way he talks is hilarious.
It is.
And he never did a big movie like that again. But it is they couldn't squeeze the whole story into the time frame, which is why with this one they're splitting it up, and they're still not going to be able to squeeze the whole story in because there's so much story there. But I think they're doing a good job with the new one.
Yeah. Well, Frank Herbert he only wrote 6 novels to begin with,
and his son carried the torch for him.
So, and how many novels are there?
I think there's 23.
23.
Yeah.
23 novels.
There's a lot, and I think they're still going. I don't think he's done writing, his son.
No.
But the as far as the Dune, original Dune Messiah, there's whichever ones were the Frank Herbert ones. I think they're going to plan to cover that because Paul Atreides' son is the lead coming up. So I wonder if they're going to keep going into that. I hope they do.
House of Atreides. Such a great movie.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you got to watch it. Matter of fact, go watch the first one, the original in '84.
And then watch
Dune Part 1.
Yeah. The old Dune is very weird.
Very weird.
This one's more
especially when you see Sting.
Oh yeah, Sting, watching him shirtless and
Sting's not an actor.
Yeah, he's not. Another movie it's in theaters now. I really want to see it, but again, I can't get her to come out to the movies with me. Is that Late Night with the Devil? Have you?
I haven't heard of that one. What is that one?
So it's basically set up as a found footage movie where they say this footage was recovered of in 1974 or whatever. There was a late night broadcast of a television show, and there's demonic possession, and it's basically found footage of a taping of a TV show where just things get progressively more dark and weird, and people are possessed or people die. I'm not sure, but it looks really interesting. It's gotten really good reviews, and I'm excited to see it.
Definitely. I'll tell you another movie I would like to see is, and I don't know how it's going to go because again, here I am a fan of the original, is The Crow.
Oh, I don't like the new Crow. I don't like his look at all.
So I'm just curious. I have to watch it because
I'm
I'm a big fan of the old
the Brandon Lee
the
one,
Brandon Lee
yeah.
Crows. So I'm just curious. I have to watch it, and I want to see is it going to do it for me, or am I going to be like, nope?
After watching or seeing what I have seen of like the
Mm-hmm.
concept and I haven't seen a trailer, but just seeing the pictures of how the new Crow looks, it's I don't like it, but it could be good. Who knows?
My wife and I just watched the new Roadhouse.
Oh, how was that? It's Conor McGregor in that one.
Yep,
walking
Conor
around
McGregor.
like this.
Yeah, he's talking with his Irish accent.
I want to see that just to see, pretty much just to see him because I like him.
He's funny. He actually plays a pretty good, crazy, evil character.
Yeah,
like he's the bad guy.
He's just playing himself.
He's just basically playing himself. I literally, that's what he did. He just played himself.
And Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal, I think he did a great job.
Yeah, I like him in just about
This
everything.
movie is nothing like the original.
Really?
It's nothing. So don't even try to compare the two.
Okay.
They're completely two different concepts.
Why is it more like?
Well, he's a retired MMA fighter.
Okay.
And he's basically down on his luck, broke.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the original, like Patrick Swayze. Actually, he did that for a living, had money and put aside and all that. And you know, I don't want to tell you the whole story, but anyways, it's the concept is the same. He gets invited, except for the Roadhouse is in Florida, and they wanted to get bought out for the same reasons, but there's a lot of twists, a lot of different stories in it, especially when Conor McGregor comes in.
It's good though. It's worth seeing.
It's worth seeing as long as you understand it's not like the original Roadhouse. It's in a different genre itself, even though it overlaps and there's some similarities, but it takes a completely different spin.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies like that where it's even like with Dune, like we were talking about. It's like if you watch them both, you realize they're based on the same source material, but they're two very
they are two different, but they do still follow the same storyline.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can like watch bits and pieces of it and be like, okay, I remember that from the old one.
Yeah.
And as much as I'm a fan of the original, so far I'm really liking the new version.
Yeah.
And I would definitely want to see the second part too. And I heard that there's supposed to be a part 3 to this.
Yeah, I think there will be. I tried to get Allie to watch the first Dune because I'm like, maybe if you watch the first one, because she thought I put it on. She's like, oh, Zendaya's in this, and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, I thought this was some old movie, and I was like, well, there was
an old movie, yeah.
But then she couldn't sit through it. It's too. She doesn't like science fiction. No. She hates it.
So does Charity.
I have to watch all of her movies. She can't watch. She can't sit through one of mine. I'm like, it might be slow, but it's good.
Unfortunately, the DNA is exactly the same.
Yeah,
because I had that same issue. Mm-hmm. Come on, baby, let's watch a movie. And okay, let me watch your movie. And then I'll put one of my movies on. 10 minutes later, she's on the phone.
Every time she'll go like, why don't you pick something? And I'm like, okay. And I pick something. She's like, not this.
Yes, I get the same thing. Yeah. She'll throw me the remote and go, put something on. I'm like, what do you want to watch? She goes, I don't care. I'm like, really?
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. I'll put it on. She'll be like, why'd you put this on?
Because you said you don't care.
You said you didn't care. Well, obviously, I'm not going to watch this, so I'm just going to get on my phone and watch TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I always try to, like, if I see her getting distracted, I'm like, hey, this is the best part. She's not into it at all.
Yeah, she's just like her mother.
Yeah.
Spinning image.
I'm excited to get out to the movies, though. But I don't think, we're going to have a newborn. So
it's tough.
That's why I was like, now's the time to go.
It's going to be a game changer.
Yeah.
It's going to be a game changer.
We'll just go out to the IMAX and see Dune 2.
Yeah, I'm definitely
down. I would honestly go if you want to plan that. Let's go.
You and I'll go. Because the other two won't go see that.
Yeah, they won't. Sage will come see it.
Sage? She into Dune?
Well, she would just like being in the IMAX.
She won't get scared, will she?
She might. No, she would probably. Honestly, she'd probably be into it.
When the worms come?
Yeah. She'd be like, holy crap.
Oh, wow.
Is that real?
Like, what are they doing? They're like, they need the spice.
What spice?
Yeah, I'm just curious now that we're talking about movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big horror movie fan.
Yeah.
I've never really looked up these things, but what are the top 25 horror movies of all time?
Well, like, according to who?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
Okay.
And they're probably wrong.
Yeah, they usually are. I hate reading this list because I'm like, oh, how do you put Scream above, The Exorcist or something? That's like...
All right, so according to IGN,
okay,
top 25 best horror movies of all time. Number 25, Scream.
Okay.
1996 version. Let's go to number 24, The Blair Witch Project.
This list isn't terrible so far.
Okay. Dracula, 1931.
I've never seen the 1931. I saw the one with Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
Whichever one.
Number, what am I on? 21?
22.
22. 28 Days Later.
That's a good one.
I actually like that one. The Fly.
The old one?
The old one, which I like.
I remember the old one.
I like really good. I thought that was pretty
That
good.
was one of those movies that my dad was like, this one's a classic. You should watch it. I'm like, I prefer the Jeff Goldblum one.
This is actually a classic and one of my favorite classic horror movies, American Werewolf in London.
That's a really good one.
I do like that one.
The transformation scene in that it still holds up. It's so well done with the prosthetics and the practical effects.
Apparently, I missed this one. Let the Right One In.
Is that the Swedish one or the American one? It's probably the Swedish one.
It just says the 2008 version.
I think that's the Swedish one, which
well, it has to be Swedish. Well, all the stars their names are Swedish.
That is good. I watched it in the English dub, but it's very good.
I missed that.
It's like a child vampire, basically.
Oh,
but it's dark and subtle and weird. It's like a child vampire makes friends with a regular child, but it's dark.
Yeah. How about 2004 Dawn of the Dead?
That's Zack Snyder one. That's a good one. I like that one a lot. It got a lot of crap when it came out.
I did like that one.
But it was really good. Yeah. That was like the first one I saw where that and 28 Days Later where the zombies can actually run full speed. Because usually before that they were always
slow.
Like
yeah.
But
28 Days Later they take off. They run fast.
And those two the 2004 Dawn of the Dead and 28 Days Later were the first times where they
could sprint,
chase you. Yeah.
Awesome classic 1984 movie, Wes Craven. I don't even have to say it.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a back in the day for me. That was a game changer.
Well, I was like 7 years old when I saw that, and it kept me up at night. Yeah. I'm like not going to sleep.
Like it was a complete game changer there.
They got progressively sillier though as it went on. Like
they did. What sucks about those movies, the first one was good. The second one I could still like. The third one you started losing me. The fourth one it was over.
Yeah.
And they just needed to stop.
They got really strange.
It's amazing how many 1980 movies are.
It was like the golden era for slashers and.
1982, Poltergeist. Classic. Yeah, that's a Hopper movie right there. And I think half the cast died.
Yeah, that was going to say that was a cursed movie.
Yeah. I think how's his name? Toby Hopper? Toby? That's a director. His last name, I remember his name was Hopper.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, wow. Another 1982. This was with Kurt Russell, The Thing.
The Thing is great.
Great movie.
They tried to remake that.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like
I did not like the remake.
I didn't like it either.
Did not like it.
Yeah,
I thought the original was better.
That's very good. Yeah. The new True Detective season came out, and they took a lot from The Thing. And it just made me want to watch The Thing because the new season of True Detective wasn't that good, but it just made me miss watching that movie.
Let's see. Here's another Hopper movie. I know that's for a fact. 1974, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a game changer, too. That one, messed with a lot of people's heads.
Yeah, that's
when you have, what the hell's his name? Leatherface?
Mm-hmm.
1968, Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, that's a weird.
That is a very weird one.
That's a Roman Polanski movie.
That is correct.
Which he's a creep and a freak. Mm-hmm. So definitely. I don't think people knew that when they saw that movie. But
wow, another 1968 movie. Obviously filmed right here in Pennsylvania, Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a classic for sure.
That is a classic. I don't agree with this one because I didn't like this movie at all. The Evil Dead 2.
Oh, you didn't like Evil Dead?
I liked the first one. I didn't like the second one.
The second one, again, it's like they got silly with it.
Correct.
But it still holds up to me. Evil Dead's good. Sam Raimi's good.
He's very good. I don't know how this one's really a horror movie because this one's more of a action. Maybe it is. Silence of the Lamb, 1991.
That's more of like a detective thriller.
Yeah, isn't it?
It's not really a horror movie.
I don't know how you put that on as a horror movie.
It doesn't count.
Still a damn good movie, but take it off.
Good.
Again, I don't believe that this one should be. Well, maybe it should because it scared the shit out of a lot of people. Matter of fact, nobody will go in the water because of it. 1975, Jaws.
Oh.
Steven Spielberg.
That's not really a horror movie.
I don't consider it a horror movie, but if you want to go on scare factor, people didn't even want to go in the water anymore.
No, watching that when you're a kid is like...
Yeah. So I guess a scare factor, you would get it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I believe that this is a horror movie, but whatever. 1979, Aliens. the Alien movie, first one. I don't think that's a horror movie.
You don't think so?
I can understand monster coming out of your stomach, alien.
Yeah.
That's the only scary part of the movie. It's not like the rest of it was scary.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, they do have to hide from the alien. That's
Yeah.
spooky, but
I don't know.
game over, man.
1935, The Bride of Frankenstein. I've actually seen this movie.
Never saw that.
Saw this movie with my dad. Actually, it's a pretty good movie for a movie being in from the 30s.
I was going to say, how does that rank higher than some of the previous
ones? It doesn't.
Ones?
There's no way that it should be, but I've actually seen it, and it is a good movie. But nowhere should it be. It's ranked number 5.
Wow.
Number 4, 1978, Halloween.
Yeah.
Very classic, game changer, scary movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
that's John Carpenter.
In the first one, and that's his second movie on the list because The Thing was on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first one, there was no like family connection established. Mm-hmm. It wasn't. He didn't even have a name. He was just like a nameless.
Correct.
He was credited as the Shape because he's just like this mindless killing machine. And then they tied in later. The family stuff.
Jamie Lee Curtis. I think she was only in the first one. She wasn't in the second one.
No, and then the third one was about masks. I don't know if the third one wasn't even about him. And then they had to go back to the Michael Myers stuff. But she did come back. Like, I mean, she's in the reboot and all that.
Oh, this is classic. Alfred Hitchcock, come on.
Psycho?
Yeah.
We actually just watched all of Bates Motel over again. I don't know if you ever watched that, but it's like almost like a modern retelling, and it's like 5 seasons of a TV show where it's like Norman Bates as a kid.
I saw that.
And it's a pretty good show.
I saw that one.
Did you see?
Did they try to remake this movie, but it was a flop?
They did with Vince Vaughn as Norman Bates. Yeah. And it was Gus Van Sant, and it was like the only remake I've ever seen where they did a shot-for-shot, line-for-line remake. It's like incredible as like a film study of like because every remake they might tell the same story. Like with Dune, they'll tell the same story in a different way. But with this one, they did every shot, every frame, every angle, everything was the same, and they just made the movie again in color.
Really?
And it's
you can't duplicate that movie,
right? And somehow it's not good, which is funny because like it's the same exact movie as the other one.
You just can't catch that magic.
But also, Vince Vaughn doesn't really fit the Norman Bates. Yeah.
No. Man, number 2, 1973, The Exorcist.
I'm wondering they always put Exorcist at number 1. I'm wondering what's number 1 now. But yeah, The Exorcist, you can't really. It's a classic.
It's a classic horror movie. This is tough. Number 1, 1980. Jack Nicholson's in this movie. The Shining.
Oh, well, I can see that.
Now, I like this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I rank it number 1.
Yeah, it's.
But it is. It'll mess with your mind.
Yeah, it definitely should be on the list. But yeah, that's a good movie. Stanley Kubrick is
Rob.
Genius. Yeah, I remember I used to have like nightmares of those 2 little girls saying,
"Yes,
come play with us" or whatever. Yeah.
Yep. That wasn't actually a bad list.
There was only, Bride of Frankenstein.
I didn't think that deserved to be on there.
That's probably the only one on there that I haven't seen. Yeah. So I guess I can't comment on it. But then the other movie, Silence of the Lambs, shouldn't have been in there.
Now you stop and think about all the modern day horror movies, and none of them made this list.
Yeah, was there anything on there after 2008? I think that's
90. Let's see, we got 96, 99.
I think Dawn of the Dead and Let the Right One In were
2002, 2008, Let the Right One In. 2004 was the Dawn of the Dead. I think that's as high as it goes.
So I can stop watching horror movies. I've already seen all the best ones.
Yeah. So I was out in the garage the other day.
Well, working on the car finally?
Working on the Trans Am that I keep putting off.
How much more time do you think you have left?
Another 7, 8, 10 years.
Yeah. It's already been several.
I think I got at least 6 years.
I can't wait to see that thing when it's done, though. It's it's the 1979
10th anniversary Trans Am. Yeah.
Got the big bird on it.
Yeah. So I was working on the firewall, stripping it down, and I did a real goddamn stupid thing. I went to go take my mask off. I had a respirator on because I didn't want any of the old paints to inhale into that. And I took my mask off, but I forgot I had my hat on. And and I smacked the top of my
It
hat.
snapped back in your
Snapped
face.
back in, and it cracked the top of my nose. I got this giant knot on my nose.
That's funny. Your glasses covered up, though. I couldn't even tell.
But it's so sore. Like when I...
Oh, you're resting your glasses on it also, so that's got to hurt.
So when I sniff or I can just feel it. It's like, oh, it's like throbbing in my middle of my forehead.
You didn't break your nose.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. And I was cussing in there.
Yeah, at least you're by yourself, yeah. You bring the dog out there with you still?
He always comes out. He comes out, runs through the door. He'll go on his bed.
Keep secret treats for him out there?
Yeah, there's secret treats out there.
We are going to have to add, like today's episode, the title featuring Axel, because he was in about half of it, barking up there.
You're going to hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Until we move their studio somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't control him. He's actually, we've had him in the studio, and he doesn't make a sound.
Yeah, he's usually good when he sits in here.
Yeah, he'll sit in here, and you don't even know he's in here.
Mm-hmm.
Put him upstairs.
Sage got mad. She's jealous. She's like, why can Axel come in here and sit? She's like, I'll be quiet. Can I sit in? I'm like, you're not going to be quiet.
We should let her in one and just let her go.
I would like to let her sit in on it. She could give us some ideas. Talk about what in this episode of Bluey. Can we talk about Bluey?
I think I'm going to get my father on here.
Yeah, that would be good. He would love to. He loves to talk. He would love
Talk isn't even a word for that man.
Yeah.
We might have to just cut him off. Be like, okay, we're done.
Well, the great thing about that is because he tells a lot of stories and has a lot of facts, but I'm going to be secretly fact checking him the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
So I can be like, actually it was 1964 that happened.
And he'll be like, no, I was there.
Yeah.
I was there. Matter of fact, I know exactly what day it was. That's just how he is. That would be fun. But like we said earlier, we're probably going to take a 2-week break here since the baby's probably due any time now. And I think we're going to have some changes on the horizon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope we do because I'm really excited to have someone in here.
So, yeah, I think we're about ready for a third person to show up. Might be a little bit of a studio change. We do have some promotional and merchandise coming down the pipe.
Yeah.
And I think we're ready to roll with this thing.
Yeah. We'll start pushing some merch. We'll make some T-shirts, get some koozies in here.
Get some koozies. Get this ball rolling. Other than that, hey, I don't have anything else to say.
No, I'm good. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
See you in a couple weeks. And if you're still here, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification button, like, share, because we appreciate that.
Yeah, leave us some comments. What you like, what you hate. We have an email. It's offthejaw@gmail.com if you have anything you want to add or any suggestions, or
don't be afraid to leave comments and say anything. Okay, whatever you want to say.
We'll read your comment on the air.
We'll read it.
Especially if it's insulting, we'll read it.
And we have very thick skin, so you're not going to offend us.
Yeah, at least we pretend to.
Yeah, sometimes I do cry, but I don't let anybody know about it.
All right, well, we'll catch you guys in a couple weeks. Thank you for listening.
Right, see you on the flip side.